Namaskar and welcome once again to What Does This Data Say? Let's talk of something different this time around, something other than politics. I'll be talking of an issue which concerns me very much, and I think if you hear the full episode, it should be of concern to you as well. Last week, the National Crimes Record Bureau had released the Crime Report of India 2021. And as a part of that report, they publish another report which is known as the Accidental Deaths and Suicides in India. Every political party last week has been picking and choosing statistics from these reports and publishing them as per their convenience. But I'm going to talk of something very different. I'm going to look at the accidental deaths in the country due to traffic accidents. India accounts for about 4.5 lakh road accidents every year, in which 1.5 lakh people die. India tops the world in road deaths. It has only 1% of the world's vehicles, but it accounts for 11% of all road crash deaths. At one point of time last year, Nitin Gadkari had said that road accidents in our country are more dangerous than the COVID 19 pandemic. And according to the World Health Organization, the major causes of the accidents in India remain, and with which all of us are very familiar. Speeding, number one. Second, bad driving habits. It's not even bad driving habits. I think it's no driving habit at all. Driving under the influence of alcohol. Number three, non use of helmets, seat belts, and child restraint systems. Distracted driving, unsafe road infrastructure, unsafe vehicles. And then last is inadequate law enforcement of traffic laws. Nothing new in this list, but then all of us don't do anything about it. Just to drive home the point how bad the situation is, I will show you the World Accident Death Clock. Now, this clock is maintained by the World Health Organization, and there's a site where you can go and see the statistics for yourself. Somewhere in the world, every 23 seconds, a person dies due to a road accident. Now, today, that is the 3rd of September, when I'm recording this episode, already 1,856 people have died so far. And in this month, 9,279. At the end of this episode, we will again visit this clock in about 15 minutes and then see how things have changed. Remember, whatever the number comes, 11% of those would have died somewhere in India. Here is a graph showing the number of deaths which happened in our country due to road accidents as well as the total accidental deaths. Now, road accidents last year, as I said, were around 1,55,000, which is about 40% of the total accidental deaths which happened in the country, which is 3,90,400. The only saving grace, if you see here, is that the road accident deaths have more or less been constant and is around 1,50,000 for the last 5 years. The dip which you see here is due to the pandemic year when there were less number of vehicles on the road. Also, I want all of you to answer this question for yourself and keep the answer in your mind. Which state in India do you think has the worst driving record in terms of deaths arising due to road accidents? Because in this episode, I'll be analyzing the NCRB data and finding out which state has the worst driving record, and then we will try to match it with your answer. Now, if you had asked me this question, I would have thought that Kerala has the worst driving habit. In my experience, the Kerala state run transport buses are a terror on the road, and the taxi drivers there always seem to be in a hurry and disregard the traffic rules totally. So let's see if what I think is really the case. Now, road accidents are a function of two parameters. Firstly, the length of the roads in that state, which is very obvious. The more the roads, more the vehicles are traveling, and the probability of an accident goes up. Second is the population of that state. When there are more people on the road, the probability of an accident goes up. So today we'll analyze these two parameters. So here is the graph showing the total number of deaths on the road statewide. UP tops with 24,711 deaths, then followed by Tamil Nadu with around 16,680, followed by Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Karnataka. The top 10 states account for around 70% of the road deaths. The same figure on road accidents, the top 10 states, I've just zoomed into this. UP beats all other states by a huge margin. So let's look at the total road length in the Indian states. The total road length in India today stands at 54 lakhs 31,757 kilometers. Now that consists of both surfaced and unsurfaced roads. The surface roads are a little over 39 lakh kilometers. Maharashtra tops the list with over 6 lakh 36,000 kilometers of roads, followed by UP at 4 lakh 42,900. But if you recall, the number of accidents in UP by far exceed that of Maharashtra. So let's look at the number of people killed on roads per 100 kilometers of a road. Here is the All India graph of accident deaths per 100 kilometer. The All India average stands at 3.2 deaths per 100 kilometer. And look at UP. It is more than 11 or 12 times the India average. 36 deaths per 100 kilometer of a road. The next one is Haryana at 11, followed that by Delhi at 11 deaths per kilometer. Then the state which has the minimum number of accidents is Chandigarh, Nagaland, and Uttarakhand. I zoom into the figure just to make it clear. UP 36 deaths per 100, Haryana 11, Delhi 11, Tamil Nadu 6, Telangana 5.7. These are the top 5 or 6 states. Let's look at the accident deaths per lakh of population. Here is the All India figure of accident deaths per lakh of population. Surprisingly, Tamil Nadu tops with 21.8 deaths per lakh, followed by number two position is Telangana, Haryana, Chhattisgarh. The All India average stands at 12.6 deaths per lakh of population. For more clarity, I zoom into the same figure. Tamil Nadu 21.8 deaths, Telangana 21, goes down to Himachal at 13.9. Incidentally, you must have noticed that UP does not figure in a high position when it comes to deaths per lakh of population. So where does India stand globally on accident deaths on the road? Let's find out. I'm using the site worldlifeexpectancy.com. This site gives the number of people who die globally per 1 lakh due to several reasons, and you can select the reason here. I have selected road traffic accident. Now, according to this site, Indian death rate is 16.33 per lakh, and our neighborhood is also has a similar death rate. The least number of deaths are in Europe, which is around 2 to 3 per lakh. US stands at 11. South America is higher at 15, but the highest is in the African region of Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, which all have a death rate of close to 40 deaths per lakh. So if I now plot the road deaths as a function of the population as well as the length of the road, The figure looks something like this. The blue line is the one on which it is sorted, which is deaths per lack of population, and the yellow line is deaths per 100 kilometer of the road. Now, the states of concern are going to be wherever the yellow line is peaking, which is UP, Delhi, and Haryana. So now I'm going to combine these two data, and I have worked out an accident index for a state, which essentially means the driving habits of that particular state. The higher the number, the worse that state is. So here is the accident index. The all India average is 15.8, and 12 states are higher than the all India average. Top of the list is UP at 46.6, which is the worst state as far as driving habits goes, followed that by Haryana, then Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Andhra, Punjab, MP, Delhi, Goa, Karnataka, and Rajasthan. I'm sure some of you may be surprised by seeing this data. For one, I could never expect that a state like Tamil Nadu or Telangana would figure in the worst driving habit states. But in reality, it's all the states which are bad performers. I'll wrap up this episode by showing you two graphs. Now, this data is not directly related to the accident, but since I was analyzing this data, I came across with this statistics. This graph is the construction of national highways done between 2005 and 2019, the top five states. In the year 2000, most of them were almost together around 5,000 kilometers of national highway per state. 2013, the figures are here. UP was around 7,800, followed by Rajasthan, then by Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, and Maharashtra was the lowest in 2013. Now the Modi government comes to power and Nitin Gadkari becomes the minister, and look where Maharashtra has gone. It has constructed 13,259 kilometers of national highway in the last 6 years. And these are the top five states: Maharashtra, UP, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Karnataka. Four out of five ruled by the BJP. So the distribution of wealth for national highways is really not happening the way it should be under a federal structure. The second bit of statistics is rather intriguing, and I have not been able to figure out the reason behind it. Here is the figure showing the state highways in these five states: Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Andhra Pradesh. Now, in many of the states, the length of the state highways have been decreasing. And yes, you heard it right, decreasing. And top of the list, where the state highways have gone down since 2005, is Gujarat. In 2005, there was 18,863 kilometers of state highways, and in 2018, it has come down to 17,201. More than 1,500 kilometers of a state highway has been lost. How can one lose 1,500 kilometers of a state highway? Have they got washed away or they have never been reconstructed? I don't have an answer. So it's now almost 15 minutes, and let's check our accident death clock. Today, 1895 people have already died in the world, and this month, 9,318 so far, which means roughly 39 to 40 people have died in this 15-minute interval. Also means about four people have died in India alone. All I can say is stay safe, drive safe. Thank you for watching this episode. I'll be back again next week with some more interesting data. Till then, goodbye and namaskar.